Hey guys, we are back working on my Kubota V2203 diesel engine that we're putting in the 59 Jeep. I'm not sure how far we're going to get today, but let's get started cleaning some stuff up here. Thanks for watching. I've been doing some shopping. We're starting to pull the parts together here that we need to do this modification. There's a whole bunch of genuine Kubota, or at least sort of Kubota parts that we have to order in. First off, we need a factory low-profile oil pan. We've got exhaust nuts and studs, basically because those are probably going to break off as we're extracting them. We've got oil plugs, a large and a small, to go with the drain pan that I got, as there's a front and a side drain. And according to the information from Greg, the side drain is the one to use on the Jeep. We've got a fresh primer pump ordered in for lifting the oil, or sorry, lifting the fuel up out of the tank and up to the diesel pump. We've got a fitting for the dipstick. I do have a complete dipstick assembly on order, and that's just arrived at my US post office box. I haven't gone across and picked it up yet. McMaster car bolts for attaching the oil pan to the bottom of the engine. Some Gates rad hoses that supposedly work to connect the engine up to the radiator. I got a one-piece exhaust manifold gasket, and I got a really sweet deal on an exhaust manifold that works with the Overland Diesel turbo kit. It's got the square flange. I think it needs a little bit of cleanup, gasket matching. We got gaskets that came with it, but according to Greg, for the cost of it, the one-piece gasket is just so much easier to work with. And of course, I managed to pick up the a complete shutoff assembly after I cracked the one that was on the engine trying to free it up. This one's not super springy, but it works. And since I was able to weld the other one up with the laser welder, I think we'll go with it for the time being, but I got this as a spare. And the big thing that we picked up is a radiator, because there's no rad in that Jeep. Kingdom rad with mounting flanges. 19-pound radiator cap. That might be a little bit heavy duty for what we're trying to do, but we can always get a different radiator cap if we need to. Apparently this is the standard cap for the Jeep CJ, and comes with a aluminum overflow fitting that screws into the top, and then we can put an overflow bottle on it. So that's what we've got here. Let me put this back in the box so that it doesn't get damaged. I'll bring you guys back in a minute. So what we've got to do with the engine here, the intake needs to come off because it's going to need to be modified. Not exactly sure where the fitting is going to end up landing on the intake for attaching to the turbo, but this will need to come off. The grid heater will need to come off of there. And the end of this intake will need to be capped off. We've got to get the exhaust manifold off. And I should probably squirt some schmoo on these nuts. Hopefully they will come loose without breaking studs off, but because they don't actually look that bad. but who knows. The other thing we need to do is take the valve cover off this hole here up at the front. Let's just paint. Is going to have to get drilled out, and there's a push-in style oil plug that will go in here, and I think there's something we've got to do here with the positive crankcase ventilation system, because the with the turbo we're going to be pressurizing the intake manifold, so therefore we would be pressurizing the crankcase with turbo pressure if we ran it the way it is. Some other things we've got to do is we've got to line up the timing mark for top dead center, flywheel. There's a little window over on this side, and set the valve lash for all of our valves. Make sure that's where it's supposed to be. And then up here at the front, we need to make our own timing mark so that we can repeat the job in the future. Another thing that we need to look at doing is we need to remove this oil filter housing and come up with some way of plugging off the fittings. And this under here is a conventional kind of automotive. It's just a cover over what amounts to a conventional automotive filter, and then we can just use a small spin-on one instead of this, because I think this is going to interfere with the motor mounts where they attach on the block. We have to add our dipstick, which goes in down under the pump there somewhere. There's a spot where we drill and mount the dipstick, and then over on this side, I'm not exactly sure. I'm guessing it is this pad right here is where we're going to put a drain in for the turbocharger. And obviously, while we've got things apart, we should clean this thing up. Splash a little bit of paint on it. I happened to pick up some kind of sort of looks like Kubota gray spray paint, and we'll give everything a good wash down on a Craigslist rebuild as we're putting it back together again. So that is the overall plan. I don't know how far we're going to get today. We'll have to see. Let me start trying to take some of this accessory stuff off, and we'll see how things go. Well, guys, it is the next evening. Started pulling some stuff apart here. I kind of ran into a little bit of issue. I'll see if I can get a reasonably priced replacement valve cover for this, or there's a local welder that does a really nice job on rebuilding aluminum lower units for boats. Maybe we'll take it to him and get him to build that back up so that it can be re-drilled. Anyways, let me put you on a stand. We'll take the rest of the bolts out of this, get this crankcase vent disconnected, and we'll see what it looks like underneath the valve cover. I bet you it's pretty clean. And as you can see, I got my little helper out here this evening. He's doing a reasonably decent job of staying out of trouble. Seems to like dead leaves for some reason. Hey, Gus, what you doing? Hey, say hi to people. Greg watched my video the other day, the short that I did, and he said that it looked like I might have one cylinder that's being a little bit lazy, maybe two. I think it was just I was idled down too far, so that we weren't running properly. But he suggested trying to fire it up with the exhaust manifold off. And we certainly have that right now. And we'll see if we can see if we've got a bad cylinder or not. Basically, everything's still set up here from the other day when we ran it. We just need to put some power onto the solenoid. Okay. And then we'll try the Crank-O-Matic and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I would say we do have a couple of cylinders that are a little bit smoky. Hopefully they'll come around with some use. Somebody wasn't happy. That was too much noise. I'm sorry, Gus. We should have known you'd be upset by that. Yeah. Anyways, so I think it was number 1 and number 3 were just a little on the smoky side. We'll have to figure out what's going on there. Hopefully it's just a matter rings are a little weak and they just need some use. That would be good. Okay. We'll disconnect all of this. So I think that is about as far as we're going to take it this evening. We've got, I've got an oil cap on order for this thing. It goes here. As I say, this is damaged. I'm going to see if I can find one. You know, if I can find a brand new one that's in decent shape for 40 bucks or whatever, then that's probably the way I'm going to go. Need to get an alternator bracket figured out. I think this whole conglomeration can come off of here. At this point, we don't need the water pump turning. And basically, we are to the point where we need to time this thing up, figure out what we're going to do to mark our, put a timing mark in this thing. So we can line up number 1 cylinder whenever we need to check the valve lash. Valve lash is supposed to be checked cold, and it's done right now off of a mark over here in this little window. That little window and the factory flywheel are going to go away when we put the adapter kit on this thing. So we're not going to have that as an option for checking the timing. I think that's about as far as we're going to take it this evening. A few more parts showed up in the mail today, and I'll have to run across the border and pick those up. And then we can start looking at making some more modifications to this thing. Slowly making progress. Once I get all the parts and get my head wrapped around the instructions, we'll put this thing up on an engine stand and we'll tear into it great guns and get it all cleaned up, repainted, and get it all spiffed up with the appropriate bits and pieces that it's going to need to work in the Jeep. I think this is as far as we're going to take this video. A fairly short one, I guess. If you got this far, give me a thumb up, give me a like. Say hi to Gus. Hi, Gus. Hey, Gus. If you haven't already done so, consider subscribing to the channel. Lots more videos on this little project to come. And we'll catch you guys in the next mess. Thanks for watching.